To show you how to maximize your benefits if you're already receiving Social Security retirement benefits, disability benefits, pretty much any benefits, or if you're about to file, let's make sure you're doing the right thing and get the right check at the right time. And it's the maximum amount you possibly can. My name is Ed Weir. I ran the third busiest Social Security office in the country, and I'm helping you get all the benefits you earned and making sure it stays here. Social Security doesn't cut your benefit amount. Okay, let's go ahead and get into it. So I've got in a list here. All right. So the first thing about retirement is obviously when are you going to start your retirement? Are you going to do it early? Are you going to do it? You're going to wait till your full retirement age? Are you going to wait and get those delayed retirement credits? People ask me all the time, Ed, when should I file? When should I start? Well, there's a bunch of questions you need to ask yourself. Do you need the money? If you're 62, 63, 64 and you need the money, well, that's a no-brainer. You need the money. So go ahead and get your money. There's limitations in terms of your work. This year, there's a limit. There's a limit every year, but this year the limit is $23,400. So anything over that, Social Security holds back $1 for every $2 if you go over. If you're looking for early retirement, the year you turn your full retirement age, that pretty much triples there. Make sure I got volume here. If you've got any auxiliaries, and auxiliary means if your spouse is waiting for you to file for benefits so they can file for benefits. If you have any children, that makes the calculations completely different. Just talked to somebody yesterday and they said, I was going to wait till 70, but I've got like 3 children that are under the age of 18. And so I'm like, wow, you're going to be missing checks for a long time because they could get checks as well. So there's okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and file at 62 then. How's your health? If you're healthy and your genes in your family, you're going to live to 100 years old, then it might be a good idea to wait till you're 70 years old to max it out, get as much money as you possibly can. Then there's the issue of taxes. If you get your benefits now rather than later, is that going to put you in a higher tax bracket because you're working or whatever the case may be? If you get that money now, get it ahead of the game, can you invest it and make more than what Social Security, after you hit your full retirement age, Social Security, your benefit, it goes up 8% per year. If you can do better than that, it might be a good idea to pull that money out there and put it in wherever. And one thing I've added that I've never really added before was politics. It's not about who's going to be the next president. It didn't matter who won the presidential race. This next 4 years is going to be crucial for your checks. We're looking at cuts here coming relatively soon. And if nothing happens over the next couple of 3 years, if we don't do something to fix this, then by 2034, we're going to get about 21% cuts. It's since the president just signed that Social Security Fairness Act, which is unfair, to law, the cuts are going to happen sooner, probably earlier in 2034 or maybe 2033, and the cuts are going to be deeper. If the next president does some of the stuff he's talking about, the cuts are even going to be even deeper and even sooner. So we need to make sure that we reach out to the politicians and get this done. And I'm going to pop up a thing that I'm going to show again tomorrow, but we need to act now. So call your senator. Here's the phone number for your senator, the president. Get onto their website, contact their local office and say, hey, if you're going to give out this $586 to these government employees, where's mine? If you're not going to give me mine, then let's make it fair for everybody. We need to get rid of the FICA cap. What are you doing to improve customer service at our local Social Security office? And what are you doing to make sure the cuts don't happen? So please, I'll talk about these a little bit more in detail tomorrow. But go ahead and screenshot that, take a picture of it, and get on the phone and let's get this done so we don't have any issues in the future. All right. Let's get back to the regularly planned story on early retirement or when to take your benefits. All right. So a lot of people mess up when they're talking about working. If you're looking at early retirement and let's say you want to go ahead and file for benefits in July, and you say, I'd like to file in July, but I'm over the annual earnings limit for this year. The earnings limit, 23,400. I'll make 60,000 by then. So I guess I can't retire this year. So I guess I'll wait till next year. That happens all the time. And it's incorrect. Social Security can switch to a monthly earnings limit. So instead of, the 23,400, the first month you go under the monthly limit. For this year, it's 1950. How do you get that number? 23,400 divided by 12 is $1,950. The first month you go under $1,950, you can start your Social Security benefits. So in July, let's say from January till June, you make $1 billion. I always exaggerate for effect if you're new to my channel. If you're new to my channel, subscribe and like and all that good stuff. You make $1 billion from January till June. Starting in July, you stop work or you start earning under $1,950. So in July, you can start your benefits. Doesn't matter what you made before. So from as long as you're under 1950 from July to the end of the year, you're good. Next year, you have to stay under the annual. You can't do a monthly. Again, you can only do that one time. So a lot of people are losing benefits. They're losing months of benefits because they think, they can't. And you can work and collect Social Security. That 20, as long as you stay under the 23,400. Anything over that, they hold back $1 for every $2. If they do hold back that money, here's what happens. Let's say you file for benefits at 62. You start getting those benefits for a year, and then after a while, you go back to work and you're making a lot of money, and they stop your benefits. They stop your Social Security. And you're like, oh, I lost that money. Well, not necessarily so. What happens is once you hit your full retirement age, this is called ARF, the adjusted reduction factor. Once you hit your full retirement age, the Social Security computer system looks at this automatically and says, hey, this person filed 30 months early, so they got a 30-month reduction in benefits when they started. But after about 10 months, they went back to work. So they didn't get 20 checks. So once you hit your full retirement age, the computer system looks at that and says, hey, when you restart your benefits, we've reduced you by 30 months, but you only took 10 months. So we're only going to reduce you by 10 months going forward. So they automatically do it. That's a easy issue. Earnings record. One of the main ways to make sure you're getting the right benefit is to make sure your earnings record is correct. Please, please, please tell everybody, all of the young people and everybody, go into SSA.gov, check out the My Social Security, set up an account there and check your earnings record. Once, you do your taxes with the IRS notifies Social Security of how much you made, and Social Security uses that high 35 years to determine how much your benefits are going to be, whether it's retirement or disability or survivors or whatever the case may be. It's based on your earnings record. And you see a lot of people out there doing videos like this on how to maximize your Social Security. It's interesting. Most of the times these videos, not anybody that ever worked at Social Security, but they how do you maximize your Social Security? They give you these genius ideas. Earn more. Okay, all right, I'll get right on there. I'll go to my boss and say, hey, I want $100,000 raise, right? So earn more. Okay, yes, that's how you increase your your retirement. That's a no-brainer. Work more, work longer. Okay, yeah, that's another no-brainer. Don't retire, because every time when you wait to collect your Social Security benefits all the way up until you're 70, then your benefits increase every month you wait and delay retirement. So it's don't retire, wait till so yeah. So those are the most of the videos out there on, hey, if you need help with Medicare, Medicare Advantage, Medicare supplements, Part D plans, make sure you reach out to my partners at Chapter Medicare. I looked for a place that would help y'all out, and Chapter Medicare knocked it out of the park. They've got excellent customer service. They look at every single plan in your area, and their help is always 100% free. Give them a call and they'll see if they can help you out, and tell them Dr. Ed said hi. Maximizing Social Security, just talk about those three things, and they don't give you actually kind of actual information you can act on. Another thing is military service. It doesn't increase your benefit a whole heck of a lot, but hey, a buck is a buck is a buck, right? If you served in the military, the Social Security Administration gives you a little bit of extra earnings for those particular years you were in the military. So all you have to do is, when you file for your application, make sure you tell them that you served in the military, and they're asking you what years. You might have to provide your DD-214. Every retired veteran always has a DD-214 that follows around there forever. I think I have 3 or 4 copies of my old DD-214. Voluntary delayed retirement credits. Here's something a lot of people miss, and Social Security employees don't know about it. You go into a Social Security office and ask them about it, they'll look at you like you're crazy. Social Security do more training on this. It's called voluntary delayed retirement credits. It's basically if you are receiving your benefits and you're about to hit your full retirement age, 66 and 8 months or 67 or whatever the case may be, you stop your benefits. You suspend your Social Security benefits. And then you restart them at 68, 69, or 70. So you're basically getting those voluntary delayed retirement credits, that 8% per year. So this is not one of those things where you have to pay it back. If you file for retirement benefits and you change your mind within 12 months, you can withdraw your application. You have to pay it back. It's not a full withdrawal until you actually pay back all the money you received, and then it's like a do-over. It's like you never even filed. It's not like that. This is voluntary delayed retirement credits. You don't have to pay all the money back that you already earned, that you already received. You just suspend your benefits and get that 8%. So a lot of people don't know about that. And Social Security employees, like I said, when you go in there, they won't tell you because they don't know quite often, because not many people know about it and not many people do it. But it is out there. Medicare is Medicare mandatory. This is another way to make sure your check is correct. I see a lot of people out there that we've got the silver tsunami. More people turned 65 this year than any time in U.S. history, same as last year, but we beat last year, baby boomers. So we've got a lot of people turning 65 and they're saying, well, I heard Medicare is mandatory. Yes, it is, except there's 20,000 pages of Social Security policy. There's a policy. There's always an exception to exceptions. This one is a pretty standard exception. If you have health insurance from work, current work, yours or your spouse's current work, and your employer, that group health plan, has 20 or more employees, then you do not have to get Medicare Part A, Part B. You have to be happy with it. And sometimes your employers make you sign up for Part B or something like that, but that's between you and your employer. Social Security does not, Medicare does not penalize you. So if you have health insurance from current work, it's not like a retirement plan or the Affordable Care Act or, COBRA or anything like. It's actually from current work. So if you have health insurance from current work and then you retire at 75 years old, then you go ahead and sign up for Part B at that time, and there's no penalty whatsoever. And so then you start out to figuring out what you're going to do, because Medicare Part A and Part B are awesome, but there's gaps there. So people get either a Medicare supplement, which I recommend, Medicare Advantage, Medicare Part D, the prescription drug plan. I always say check out Medicare Advantage first. Excuse me, Medicare supplement first. I want to make sure Medicare supplement first, either an N or a G. And then if that's not for you, then go down to a Medicare Advantage. But always check out the Medicare supplements first. And if you need help, my partners there at Chopper can help you out. Spouse benefits. Another way to make sure you're getting all the benefits you're entitled to in your household is make sure your spouse receives the correct amount of benefits. So I see a lot of people that didn't know their spouse can also collect benefits. So if you're receiving benefits, your spouse can collect benefits as well. There's still the earnings limit that they have to stay under. They have to file for benefits on their own record first. In the old days, prior to 2016, you couldn't do that, but they have to file for their benefits on their own record first. And then if your benefit amount is twice their benefit amount, then they can file for benefits on your record and they get the difference between the two. One offsets the other, but hopefully there's more money there for you. And one of the things people do is called a split strategy, where the lower income earner goes ahead and starts their benefits earlier. The higher income earner just continues to work and increase their Social Security. And when the higher earner jumps on and starts their benefits, then the lower earning spouse can start those benefits as well. And another thing you can do to make sure you're getting correct benefit is, a lot of people, when they're in their early 60s, the reason they're like, I really like to keep working, but at my disability is just not able to, I'm just not able to work anymore. You can file for what's called a RIB-DIB, a retirement insurance application, retirement insurance benefits, and a disability insurance benefits, a RIB-DIB. You can file at the same time. You don't get both. You get the higher of the one, of whichever one. But what it is, why would people do that is, unfortunately, because Social Security is a 50-year low of staffing, and politicians want to make customer service terrible. So you would hate Social Security. And so when they'd say, hey, let's just go ahead and give it to Wall Street because Social Security sucks anyway, you've fallen for their trap. And but we're smarter than that, right? So that's why you reach out to your politicians and say, hey, make customer service on my local office better. But you file for disability and it takes 6 to 9 months if you're lucky to get an answer. And during that time, people need money. So what you do is you file for early retirement, get those retirement monthly benefits started. and then while you're waiting for your disability, and hopefully your disability is approved, and then you switch over to disability. All right. So that is how to make sure you're getting everything. And but there's exceptions, 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 and people have different situations and questions.